In this edition of Blender versus the Industry, I'm going to be taking a look at Blender versus Maya, and this time I'm going to be talking about how it handles combining objects to model kind of a continuous form on multiple models. So I'll go ahead and get started with Maya, then I'll kind of show Blender, then I'll kind of give my 2 cents at the end to say which one I prefer. So let's go ahead and start with Maya. So what I'm talking about here is I can see that I have, let's say, one primitive and then another primitive, and then I want to connect them and have them talk to one another, essentially. So if I go like this, if I go to Create, Polygon Primitives, Torus, I'll just kind of scale that up, move that off to the side, and then I can do maybe Control D to duplicate it and move it over here. If I try to bridge these together, I wouldn't be able to because they're two independent objects. And if I go into my outliner, I can see here, I'm just going to go to, if I select this, Edit, Delete All by Type History, and let's get rid of that. Okay, cool. So I've got one torus and another torus, and I can see that they're different, so they're not going to be able to be bridged together. So if I select them both and go to Mesh, Combine, now I feel like they're one. Okay, so I can't click one without clicking on the other. And then this is just the history. So if I delete the history there, I can see that they're just one object. So now what I can do is I can select faces and go to bridge. Okay, then this will pop up and I can click on divisions and I can kind of like give it more divisions if I want to. There we go. Now if I wanted to again do that again, I can create let's say a torus. Bring it down here, and again, it's a different object, right? It's a different object, so I need to be able to combine that. So I'm just going to select them, go Mesh, Combine. Once it's combine, okay, I'm going to select it like that, and then I'm going to go to Bridge. So, and then I can give it some divisions if I want. So again, the kind of the moral of the story is to make sure that you use the combine under mesh, and you'll want to make sure you're in the modeling menu set to see the mesh menu. You have to combine before they'll be able to talk to one another. Okay, let's see how Blender handles that same thing. So if I go into Blender, I'm going to go ahead and delete my object here and just kind of start from scratch. So if I Shift A, and I'll go ahead and bring in a torus, and I'll press, actually I'll just leave it at that size. And now, you'll see here that I have torus here, but if I make another torus, so if I do Shift A, I'll make another torus, I can see that it is now a separate piece. Okay, now if I have two separate pieces, just like in Maya, I can select them both, and then what Blender calls it is join. So I can see here's join, and I can see the shortcut is Control J. So if I select both of these and do Control J to join, you'll notice that here they're two objects, and now they become one. Okay, then what I could do is I could, let me just select this, and if I go into edit mode, I can select these faces here, select these faces here, and then I can go to bridge. Okay, then if I wanted to add divisions, I could go down here and add divisions if I want to. Okay, now another way that's kind of cool is this. I feel like if I hit Tab, Shift A, I can see this big menu. That means that it's going to create a new object. But if I'm in edit mode, which I can see I'm in edit mode right now, and I can see that it says edit mode. Now if I do Shift A, I have the shorter menu. And when I do that, it means it's going to actually kind of add on to the mesh. And you'll see that it's not going to create a new shape. So if I go Shift A, and now if I add a torus, I can see that I don't even have to do the joining because I made this shape while I was in edit mode. Okay, so that means that, again, I don't even have to do join. I can just select my faces here and already do bridge. And again, if I wanted to add some cuts here I could. But so that's kind of cool. So if you know you're going to be joining an object, as long as when you create the shape, if you make the shape, the new shape, while you're in edit mode, it'll be ready to be joined instantly. I feel like in Maya, you have to always combine the shapes. So here, I think it's kind of a close one. If I had to decide, I feel like Maya calls it combine, Blender calls it join, and it's easy to do. But I feel like Blender has kind of this one other step of, hey, if I'm in edit mode and I create the shape, it's already, I don't need to add that extra step of clicking on combine or join. So I feel like just a slight thumbs up to Blender here. I think it's just slightly faster. If you guys know any other tips and tricks of making it even faster in Maya, or if I'm missing something in Blender, leave it in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe, share this video. I'll see you guys next time.